teachers that were
Yeah.
just like, you know, I get really underestimated. They'd shove me in the back of the choir. They'd never give
Oh,
me the solo. They'd
jeez.
compare me to all the other girls and be like,
Oh,
"You're an off-key singer. You're a tone-deaf singer." And I said,
oh,
"No, I am not." Yeah.
wow.
I mean, there's been points in my life where I've just been like, I'm going to quit music because I'm not good enough. But then I'd always have a best friend or someone that would be like, no, get back up. You're not doing that.
Yeah, you need that
So,
support in your life, and you know what?
yeah.
And for folks that are, folks that are struggling with, let this be a lesson that
Mhm.
you're gonna have struggles, and you need to know what to do with it,
Yep.
and you're gonna have those people that tell you, "Hey, you can't do it." But
Yep.
there's a great quote that is was told to me by BFA Athletics Director Dan Marlowe. Uh,
Mhm.
it's the don't let the things interfere. Don't let the things that you can't do interfere with the things you can do. So the things
Yeah.
you can't do are the things that people are telling you. Don't let that stop you. And I think you're a very good example. You're another very good example of somebody who
Mm.
keeps on pushing forward despite the criticism that you're getting, because a lot of people, they get this criticism and they say, "Hey, well, I'm done. I'm done." And they
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
anything with it. And
It's
so,
sad to watch that.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
hats off to you, first off, for continuing to do that. Second of all, hats off
Mhm.
to you for, really taking this and making it your own. Um,
Thank you. Mhm.
it's impressive. So let's talk about what's next for you, because you are now you're going into the studio. You're getting ready to record some stuff. Let's
Yeah.
let's let's get some let's spill some beans here this evening. What can we expect for originals and stuff?
So I have been writing originals since freshman year. I've been editing them. Like,
Ooh,
this one's not good enough. Or I'm going to change this one. I'm going to put this one there. I am just settling out on, like, I have four or five songs that are solid that I'm definitely going to put on my so-called album. And I'm still coming up with like a name for the album and like what songs that I have like headline it. Most of my songs are about like I said earlier, like problems I've had, and then turning it into music to try to help other people who have a problem that resonates with the song, so they can listen to it. And I really love to help people, so I
you're
figured why not do it through music.
you're in the right place for it. That's awesome. That's really great. It's great to hear stories of people saying, I want to help people with through my music. And it's another great thing about you is you hear a lot of musicians say, "Oh, I'm doing it because I love doing it." That's the typical
Mhm.
musician
Yep.
statement that you always hear, and that's not criticizing any other musicians, but you want to help people through music, and that's the answer that really gets people involved and really listening to music. I think that's a really, really awesome thing. So,
Mhm.
all
Thank
right.
you.
So any release dates? Where can we find the music when it's released?
Oh, I have no idea. Now I was thinking like probably here would be the first that you'd hear of any of the music, and then I'd
Hmm.
start, maybe trying to push it onto Spotify or
Yeah.
something like that. Just
Yeah.
how most musicians start, Spotify.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of
Hmm.
course we're definitely going to keep you on the radar, because a lot of listeners have responded in the past few days of saying we got to get her on, we got to get her on. So, and that's awesome. That's great to see that local artists are being supported through this station, which is impressive.
Hmm.
All right, we'll take you out with this. What do you want listeners to take away from this conversation or music in general?
Um, Music is something that everybody should use for healing, and I strongly believe that music nowadays is just heading in the wrong direction. And I've heard you could say "okay, boomer" to me, but I think that you know, music nowadays is just not what it used to be, and it's just kind of throwing actually, like, I don't want to say talented, but actually
Mhm.
musicians, not just like computer based clicking musicians. I think that that we need to bring rock or just real music back to
Yeah.
the yeah. And don't give up on your dreams, no matter what people are going to tell you. Just don't give up on your dreams. Just don't listen to people, because when you listen to people that don't know what they're talking about, then you end up not knowing what you're talking about. So
All right. A
Yeah.
lot of life lessons that listeners can take away from this
Hmm.
conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our a new artist that we're gonna be hearing from a lot over the next few weeks and stuff. It's Evelyn uh, joining us this evening for a awesome conversation, and it's awesome. And thanks for joining us, Evelyn. And
Yeah, no problem. Of course.
This is the Wolf Den Network. Here's what's happening.
all right. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. All right. So I've done a little bit of remodeling to the studio and how things sound. Number one, trying to get things situated here. So a couple of things. Kaylee's track is out on all podcast platforms, which is very exciting. Second thing, this is going to get very interesting because the original session that I was using to mix this track has mysteriously vanished. However, I was able to get back a good amount of what I lost. And very quickly and stealthily, very quickly and efficiently this morning, I was able to put everything together as close as to the master that I could get it. Now, the only difference is towards the end of the track, there's a vocal track there that there's two takes of. Well, you'll hear when it comes to it, but it's nothing that you guys didn't hear it's nothing that you guys aren't going to hear on the original, on the actual track when you go to stream it on your phone or whatever on any platforms. But there's a little bit of a difference, but there's not. Part of the difference being is that we're playing this through the actual production. We're playing this through Logic Pro, and it's being put through some processors. So it might sound a little different, but it shouldn't sound any more different than it does when you listen to it generally. So here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do, I'm going to play the full track in its entirety. And then I we'll pick apart the track, track by track. Okay. Because there's a total of 21 to 22 tracks here. Okay. So I'm going to go through each one, a good amount of them, and tell you what I did for each one. Because a lot of them are pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, let me just quickly check the relay here and see what we're getting for audio. See if we're getting good audio at least, right? Cool. All right. So we're getting good audio all around. I did some adjusting to this. It sounds cool. I did some adjusting to this Friday night. So it's pretty cool. All right. Let me get into my hard drive here and I will pull up the song. And all right. Let's see. All right. So hopefully it'll play automatically. Yep, here we go. All right, check this out. It's Kaylee Musso in her original Complicated.
You asked me if I'm fine, am I doing all right?
All right, hang on.
You're looking for a yes or no.
Hang on, this is a rough draft. Let me get rid of. Hang on. I could have sworn I had. Uh-oh. Okay, so I don't have the actual track that I sent over. This is going to be a complete disaster, but that's okay. That is okay. We're going to do with what we have. I thought it was here on a USB stick, but it's not. That's okay. I will play it from the... Oh, play it from the actual software. So, all right, let's try this again. Check this out. Ah, there we go. Sounds a lot better.
You asked me if I'm fine, am I doing all right? But you're looking for a yes or no answer. It's not that easy. I wish it was that easy. I miss the days when the only thing on my mind was the boy I liked or the birthday party I didn't get invited to. Oh, ain't it cruel? If I tell you that I'm good right now, in a couple hours I might be drowning, so it's better if I don't say anything at all. 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Recovery is more than just a straight path. 'Cause these days my gut is in a knot that I don't know how to untie. And as I'm getting older, I find myself wishing for simpler times. And I realize the pressure is on and I need to be okay and I have to make it. But everything's so complicated. Why is everything so complicated? You sent me a message saying get well soon, but I wanted to throw my phone across the room, 'cause it doesn't work like that. I wish I could heal that fast. It's not like I'm dying, but I don't feel alive. And it hurts so bad, but I'm probably fine. I say I don't need help, but that's really a lie. It's complicated. If I tell you that I'm good right now, in a couple hours I might be drowning, so it's better if I don't say anything at all. 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Recovery is more than just a straight path. 'Cause these days my gut is in a knot that I don't know how to untie. And as I'm getting older, I find myself wishing for simpler times. And I realize the pressure is on and I need to be okay and I have to make it. But everything's so complicated. Why is everything so complicated? La la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, complicated, la 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 la, complicated, la 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 la, complicated, la 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 la, complicated, la la la.
Okay. So that track, so what you have probably noticed, Ari, what you just noticed there's 2 takes there, there's 2 doubles there on the vocals here. So there's, let me go. with the actual Spotify version, the version that's out, there's only supposed to be one of those. However, I had to pull a session. Now, I've had this song since June, since the end of June. And when like I'd said in the beginning, I lost the actual track that I had, the actual session that I just finished up like 3 weeks ago. And no idea what happened to it. So I was able to pull this session from my trash bin on the MacBook. And yeah, so, and I thought I'd replaced the old vocals. There's some takes that we had, but apparently we didn't just replace them, we doubled them. So that's what happened unintentionally. But I want you guys to know that that's the only difference with this version that I'm showing you guys. But no difference. No harm done. But let's go through this because there's a lot of musical elements in this track that are pretty cool. All right. So obviously, for me to go and bypass everything, it would be a lot to go in and bypass. But if I go and bypass all these plugins, it is going to sound a lot different than it currently does. So let's go through the vocals here first. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna solo all the vocals. And when I do my tracks, when I put all these tracks in, I usually put all my vocals together. I put all my instruments together. So if it's some piano tracks, I put them side by side. I put the drum tracks side by side. All that good stuff, because when you get into mixing a track such as this one, or really any track, you're going to have, some cases you're going to have 21 to 23 tracks on a small song like this. If you're going to have a bigger track, you're going to have a song with bigger number of tracks, that'll have, anywhere from, 50 tracks and on. And I know it sounds crazy, right? But it's so true. That's just the way that the cookie crumbles sometimes. I know it's weird, but it happens, believe it or not. So, there's that for you. So, I'm just gonna fixing a couple of things as I go. All right, cool. Fantastic. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me solo all the vocals here. Solo. Yes, I know. A lot of the engineers are going to be, a lot of engineers will be going, just use this keyboard shortcut. Could do that. Yes, I could. But when you have your vocals right next to each other, then you can go zip right through and solo everything. All right. So now we have all the vocals soloed. All right. Now, what I did with one vocal, I did to the rest of them. And I'm going to go through that here in a second, but let's just play this without the instruments. All right. So right now I get the piano playing if the vocals weren't soloed. And let's see here.
You ask me if I'm fine, am I doing all right? But you're looking for a yes or no answer. It's not that easy. I wish it was that easy. I miss the days when the only thing on my mind was the boy I liked or the birthday party I didn't get invited to. Oh, ain't it cruel? If I tell you that I'm good right now, in a couple hours I might be drowning, so it's better if I don't say anything at all. 3 steps forward and 2 steps back.
All right, so there's some reverb on there, right? And I'm gonna go into the main vocal here. So let me go into my aux send here and mute that reverb. Mute. All right, so just muted the reverb. So the way that vocals are mixed, when you put in a vocal track, you put in reverb, you put a delay on, go into your track that you want to add the effect into. So I'm going to go right here into my main vocal, and okay, there's a button here that says send, and you got a level fader. You got a fader here. That's your send knob. But let's say I wanted to send bring in another effect into this vocal, right? I could do that by hitting the send button, and which I'm not going to do. And this will allow me to choose another bus, whether it be bus 2, bus 3, bus 4, etc. What that will do is that will create a aux track, and then what I do once that aux track is created, I can rename that aux track anything that I want. And when you get into a song or whatever that has like more than 2 effects, that's when you want to start labeling your aux tracks. Very rarely do I label my aux tracks, and I should, but very rarely do I label them, because most of the time I've been using 1 to 2 sends on a track. All right, so this is the raw studio vocal. All right, so I'm just going to solo individual tracks now, and we'll go through each one. If you are following along here, listen to this through headphones. I can guarantee you'll get the most out of it that way if you listen to this through headphones or a really good pair of speakers, especially with this part, what we're going to go through, what I did with these tracks. Because I did some pretty cool stuff here with these tracks. Okay, so a lot of audio folks, a lot of audio engineers know that your microphone tracks are going to be mono versus stereo. You get two options here when you're talking about audio tracks. You get stereo and you got mono. So let's work with the main vocal here for a second, and what I'll show you what I did here with this particular vocal track. So this is raw studio vocal. All right, and this is all the plugins still
You
affected.
ask me if I'm fine, am I doing all right? But you're looking for a yes or no answer. It's not that easy. I wish it was that easy. I miss the days when the only thing on my mind was the boy I liked or the birthday party I didn't get invited to. Oh, ain't it cruel? If I tell you that I'm good right now, in a couple hours.
It's like a fresh, clean, raw vocal. That is great. That is beautiful. All right, now, how did I go make a vocal sound like that from the original track? Let's play the original. And let's see here. Bypass. All right. I'm going to bypass everything. All right. So this is a raw vocal track without anything on. Maybe.
You ask me if I'm fine, am I doing alright? But you're looking for a yes or no answer. It's not that easy. I wish it was that easy. I miss the days when the only thing on my mind was the boy I liked or the birthday party I didn't get invited.
So there's the raw vocal track.
Oh, ain't it cruel? So
if I really wanted to make this thing wonky, I could do some major gain staging, and I could really bring out the vocals, the noise floor and stuff. This was recorded with a Sennheiser microphone, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe it was a Sennheiser. So I'm going to go through each plugin here that I've got going here. So, all right. So there is. Okay, so there's 3 EQs. EQs on each vocal track. Main vocal, and there's about 10 vocals on here. So, let me just check this out. So, oops. It was working. What happened to it? I put the volume down on there. There we go. It's going to go there. Cool. So, there we go. Now, if I go into each effect here, I've already created presets that are tailored to the artist's vocals. Every person's voice is different. Every person has a unique voice. So I'm going to go into this first EQ slot, hit open on here. All right, so the filter EQ, and this is what I've done for each vocal track. As far as the formula goes, with filter EQ, what that's going to do, that's going to take out the mid, the high cut and low cut, and low pass filter, and then high pass and low pass filters. All right, so let me just see if I can go in and put everything up that I had. I guess I have to go in and bypass unbypass everything now. Okay, I'm going to unbypass this, unbypass that. All right. So let's see. Hopefully I fixed this. I think I did. Maybe. I have no idea why we are not getting any audio. Unreasonable. This is kind of interesting that this is happening because this is Logic Pro at its finest. Huh. Logic Pro has all of a sudden stopped putting sound out. I don't know, no idea why this is doing that. Let me look at the input and output. Okay, that's correct. All right, let me just change my output here. And see if we're still getting audio through the main output. Oh. All right, so we're getting audio through there. All right, let me see if I can get the audio to go through here again. Oops. USB audio codec menu. Select system checkmark. Pro Tool external MacBook external headphones. External headphone. Input to device mic set crop on crop meet mode play summing apply button. Logic Pro is not respond. You are currently on a button period. This item is dim period. General button. Oh, hang on. So this is loading. One bar 3 beats 3. One bar 1 beat 3. Huh. Well, for some reason, Logic Pro is not wanting to cooperate. Now, this is something I would expect out of Pro Tools, but this is not something I would expect out of Logic Pro. This is not part of today's entertainment. Okay. All right. Well, I have no idea why it's doing what it's doing. It has never done this. So for some reason, we're not getting any audio. Why is it doing that? Okay, go to my output here. See if my track is muted. This is weird. Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to be able to analyze the rest of this track for some weird reason, but I will do my best to explain things here. So, filter EQ works on the high pass and the low pass. Subtractive EQ is going to take out any frequencies that we don't want, and it will help to minimize floor noise and different parts, different frequencies on the mids, lows, highs. Then we get a compressor. Compressor is going to take any of the quiet stuff and it's going to bring up the quiet noises while keeping the loud noises down and making each level of noise even. Best way to explain a compressor is picture somebody taking a quiet signal, bumping it up, while taking a louder signal, bumping it down, and evening out levels. Then we get the additive EQ. That's just going to add up what we just got rid of and add any fresh sounds to it, make the vocals pop out behind the mix. So, and then we got a noise gate and a sound isolator. Now, some microphones introduce some hissing, especially when you get into the analog realm of things, USB, XLR, that gets into your analog stuff. So with the sound isolation plugin, that will minimize the hissing of a microphone and will bring it down to a minimum, so that the vocal is just crystal clear. Now, with the other vocals that I did, if you've been listening to this through headphones or you listen to the track through headphones, as I mentioned earlier, your vocal tracks are going to be mono. That means one signal going through the left channel, same signal going through the right channel. Whereas a stereo output, you're going to have two channels that have a wide spread to them. So with the backing vocals, I did something that's called panning. And I have it here on the main desk on the console here, but I also have it virtually on the screen. So if I go into any of these other vocal tracks here, as far as the vocals, now the mid-high vocal, I did something interesting with that vocal because it's only one vocal and I wanted there to be a stereo spread for this vocal. So what I did is I put now oddly enough, it works, but I put a acoustic guitar doubler, dry stereo doubler on it. Yes, it's made for acoustic guitar, but it works the same for vocals, like for situations like this. And what this does is it will take a mono signal and it will turn it into a stereo signal, allowing it to be on both sides of the ear, on both sides of your head, and give you that surround sound, that spatial audio that everybody loves. And then there's choir vocal 1, choir vocal 2. Now, choir vocal 1 and choir vocal 2 both have the same thing, have the same melody going. But this is where we start doing our pans, and I named them different things, but they still all do the same thing. Mid-high vocal 1 is panned all the way to the left, allowing for only the left signal to come in, and the right vocal is panned to the right, allowing for the right signal to only come in, therefore creating that stereo sound when she says when she starts singing there in that part of the chorus. High complicated vocal and low complicated vocal, I did the same exact thing in there. Main complicated vocal, that's just left in the center. Low and the mid-high vocal, the law vocals, the high law vocal, the mid-law vocal there, the low law vocal, the mid-law vocal there. Those are panned hard left and right. Give it that stereo sound. So these are just vocal doubles in a sense. These are just vocal doubles that are being panned hard left or right to give you that stereo sound. Your acoustic guitar, that's a mono channel. However, you put a stereo doubler on that, that's going to double your signal, giving you a wider sound field. Your drums vocals are going to be, your drums, your instrument tracks are mostly going to be, you're most likely going to, unless you record a bass or you record, if you record a bass or record something analog or just directly into a input, you're going to have mono, unless you take a guitar and you hook up, two microphones, one microphone on the neck, one microphone on the bottom of the guitar. Basically like what we did for a little production secret for Matt House. With Cardinal, we did that actually with we put one microphone on the bottom of the ukulele, one microphone on the top of the ukulele. And that's how we're able to get that stereo sound by doing some live panning in the studio. Right. So if you guys are wearing headphones, actually, I'll sample this. I'll give you guys an example of what this sounds like. So if I go here and I'm going to put my main mic to the left side. And if I go, actually, I'm going to put both of these mics to the center for a second. All right. Now I got two microphones going here. So if I go, not to get trippy, but we're going to get stereo sound. Boom and boom. All right. So if I stand relatively like this, probably, check it out. Probably it's a good center field. Now I'm talking in a stereo field because what I did again, hard left, we got a microphone one panned, hard left, and then we got a microphone panned, hard right. There we go. Hard right. There we go. All right. So typically, hold on. I got to fix this now because this is a mess. There we go. Typically, that's not, the microphones wouldn't be that far from a sound source. You'd have the sound source, you'd have it all figured, have them near each other. But that's basically what I was able to do here. So technically what we can do, instead of me having to, in post-production, if Kaylee were to come here and record this, right? If she were to come here and record a song, she could record her backing vocals. We could pan one hard left, one hard right, and do that live in Logic Pro or Pro Tools, and I wouldn't have to do any of that panning that I do in post-production, which, again, it allows me less time to focus. It gives me more time to actually focus on the mixing part and less time focusing on the, you know, like the panning's part of the mixing. But when you it minimizes one less step. That's all it does. All right. So that's pretty cool. And that's how, when you listen to a song, you'll hear like, a symbol on the left, right, or set, on the left, or you hear a symbol on the right, and it will that'll be that. Oops. So there's that for you. I'm just gonna save, get out of here. Don't need to save it because it's already done. All right. So that's, again, I would show you everything else here that's in here, but for some reason, Logic Pro is being obnoxious. Let me just try opening this up again. And let me just see if I can get this to work. Recent. Open. Now in Kaylee, you are currently on 1 bar 1 beat 1 division. Strings stereo out. Channel strip blue. You are currently. All right. We're still not getting any audio. 9 bars 4, 1 bar 1. Why we're not getting any audio, I don't know. Logic Pro. All right. I have no idea why it's not doing it, but anyway. I'm hoping you guys got something out of it. And I know I didn't check the chat group a lot. There's not been a lot of people going in on the chat group. Weird. I have no idea why. So I'm hoping that gives you guys more of an idea of what is done, what I did to this particular track. She does have another one that I do have. It's I'm not going to tell you what it is, but when that song does come out, I'll have a video up there for you as well on all that fun stuff. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys tuned in, thank you guys. And I will talk to you all later. Cheers, everybody. We'll end with some Matt House.
Disconnected from my phone, not hearing no ring, helps me focus on what really has meaning. Even strength in my love, now my heart's beaming. Don't let others get you down, no need to frown, just look around, you're never alone. This world's a home, go outdoors and roam. Let Mother Nature guide you back to your true soul. Now I'm writing this in, made on my last trip. It's day 7 and I've learned to release my grip on any expectations about the future. Focus on the present and you will mature. Sitting next to this lake is better than class, I'm sure. On my solo portion, spending 2 nights all alone, thinking about my love being in comfort zone.